Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome. It's always good to meet someone new. Today we have another rare game experience. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel or this series, this is where I look at games whether they're on PC, console, or arcade, most commonly arcade, looking for unique and interesting experiences in gaming. This could be a physical mechanic like in most arcade games, it could be a gameplay mechanic or a type of game that just kinda stands out as uncommon in the genre. Today, it's just, well, it's a weird idea that I heard about and talked about a little bit in my Evolution of Platformers video, I believe, but it really does deserve a little bit more time, so hang out a while as we talk about an old game called I Am Bread? Yeah, this one's gonna get a little weird, guys. Hang tight. Now, I Am Bread is a game made by a studio called Bosa Studios, which is a British developer known for, well, two games really. Surgeon Simulator, which was the first game where you play, well, a surgeon doing surgery. However, it's not one of the more serious simulator games, but rather a humorous take meant to take more of a comedy twist than anything else, in a very, well, let's just say British way. Not surprisingly, I Am Bread is in a similar vein of humor, though with a bit of a darker turn. You see, the story follows a guy called Mr. Merton, who's a therapy patient with a failed business and having gone through a divorce. He's upset over the break-ins to his house that he claims are being carried out by sentient bread. Yep, he claims that bread has been breaking into his house and wrecking the place. I mean, honestly, it makes as much sense as how you play the game, to be fair. So, how do you play the game? Said no one in particular. Let's go into it anyway, shall we? Now, in I Am Bread, you play as, well, a slice of sentient bread. There's no other way to describe that. Your goal is to make your way to a toaster where you can become toast. Now, it might not always be a toaster. It could be any surface that you can toast yourself on. However, there's actually problems with this plan. You have to avoid things that would make you, well, inedible. Now, why a piece of sentient bread would want to become toast and would also be worried about being edible is confusing, to say the least. But to do this, you traverse tables, climb up surfaces. No, you're not hearing things. This is all stuff you do. You also need to avoid messes on the floor, pets, or anything else that might make you dirty on your quest to become the best darn piece of toast that you can be. After all of that, the control in this game is kind of, well, let's say challenging. It uses the left bumper and left trigger along with the right bumper and right trigger. These buttons along with the analog stick help you flip your piece of bread over and over along its way and stick to sheer surfaces. Yeah, you heard that right as well. Now you can also inch your way along the ground just using the analog stick, but that's both inefficient and in a lot of ways, not to mention potentially making you inedible. What a horrible fate for a piece of sentient bread. Reportedly, though, the game has a fairly large difficulty spike later on in the game, and its physics aren't quite as good as they should be for a very heavy physics-based game like this. Thankfully, overall, the game is short enough that it doesn't really outstay its welcome, commonly clocking in somewhere around the 3-hour mark or a little more if you struggle overly with some of the levels. On the upside, they actually have a few other modes that you can unlock using a bagel or even a croissant with different objectives based on which type you choose to use. These don't come with any new stages, mind you, just new objectives to complete. Overall, it's another one of those quirky and endearing indie games that likely wouldn't have gotten made in the AAA space that oozes charm regardless of its controls. However, what do you guys think of this one? Did any of you know this one? And if so, from where? How many of you had a chance to play it? And if you did, what did you think of it? Let me know in the comments. And while you're there, if you don't mind, please leave this video a like. Also, if you see more of my content you like, consider following the channel. That helps me out a ton. Till we meet again, though, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. And until we meet again, happy gaming.